Hey everyone, welcome back to this master series on learning coding patterns. My name is Mohammed Ali and today we are going to look at a very special approach. So right now LeetCode does not have a single question on its platform that can support this approach, that consists of this approach, and using that question we can learn this approach. So what I have done, I have made a contribution to LeetCode. Now it is currently in processing stage, so LeetCode will evaluate it, will analyze it, and will decide whether to include it in the LeetCode questions arsenal or not. But I mean, hope for the best. So I have already did the contribution part, but I thought, like, why to wait for LeetCode to decide? Why not to go for it and share it with my people? So that's why I am today presenting this video with this approach. So the approach that we are going to discuss today is previous smaller element approach that we are going to look at using stacks. So what is previous smaller element approach? The previous smaller element PSE of some element x in an array is the first smaller element that is to the left of x in the same array. Okay, so what this means is that, let's say your current pointer is currently at this second index and pointing towards this value, which is 5. So what PSE is going to be? PSE is going to be this 3. Okay, why? Because it is first of all on the left side, and secondly it is the first smaller encounter to all the elements on left side. Okay, for example, like here we have 7 is greater than 5, so that's why we will not include it. But let's say if rather than 7 there was 1, so we would have included 1 instead of 3. But since 7 is greater than 5, so what we have done, we have included this 3 as a PSE. This is the previous smaller element than 5, considering 5 as x. Okay, so very simple question, very simple approach, but still LeetCode does not contain a single question that supports this approach. If, let's say, maybe I'm a human, so if I am wrong and you have solved a question using previous smaller element approach on LeetCode, please feel free to share with me, and I'll try to solve this question using this approach, and we'll make a new video on that question as well. Okay, so let's discuss this hypothetical question that I have come up with. So what this question is about. So I've already discussed PSE, and today we are going to look at how we can use PSE approach using stacks to solve such kind of question, where our job is based on current pointer, identify the previous smaller element, the first encounter of previous smaller element on the left side. Okay, cool. So we will start from this current. So this is nums array. These are distinct numbers, and these are basically indices that are basically representing these numbers. So 0 index means this 3 because it is at 0 index, and first this 7 is at first index, and so on. Okay, current pointer will help us in our traversal part, so we know that where we are currently standing. And this is the stack. This stack will be initialized as an empty list, and this top basically represents the last element or the latest element in our stack that is added. Okay, right now top is pointing towards this part, but our stack is empty. Okay, so and then we will create this res. This res is basically an array of dummy variables, which is -1. And why -1? Because in today's question our job is to identify PSE and then like previous smaller elements, and then our job is to fill up res, which is our result array, and fill up with the indices of PSEs. But let's say if there is no PSE existing right now, so what will happen? We will leave that position with -1. So -1 will be value in our resulting array. When we will get a PSE, we will update it with the index of that PSE. Okay, for example, here in the case of 3, let's start this question. So in the case of 3, right now there is no element before this 3, right? So there is no previous smaller element, so that's why we will leave it as -1. Okay, but what one thing we will do, we are going to update it first of all. Since there is nothing, so we are going to update our stack with 0. Why? Because 3 is at 0 index. Okay, so how the coding logic will proceed? So first of all, we are going to check whether our stack is empty or not. If it is empty, then we are simply going to move towards filling up this stack with the index of current pointer. Okay, now what will happen, let's say if stack is not empty, which means like there are values in a stack. Okay, so we will check whether the value at top is greater or equal to the value at current. If both conditions will be true, then what will happen, we are simply going to pop values from our stack. Okay, unless until our stack gets empty, or let's say the value at top is smaller than the value at current. Second condition, after these checks, then we will further check whether after fulfilling, like let's say these two, one of these two conditions are like false. So what we will do, we will check whether the stack is empty. Again, if a stack will not be empty, then we are going to update our res. How we are going to update our res? Our res array will be updated with the value at top, but the index of such value will be decided based on current pointer. So whatever the index our current pointer will be pointing towards, we are going to update value at that index in our res. Okay, let's see. So we are done with this 3 because I mean there is no PSE, so that's why we have just filled up our stack with 0, and 0 is at top of our stack. Then what we are going to do, we are going to move forward, and here we will encounter 7. So now what we are going to check, we are going to check whether stack is empty or not. No, stack is not empty. Then we are going to look at the value at top. So at 0 index there is 3. Now we are going to check whether 3 is greater than or equal to our current pointer. No. So what we will do, we will move towards the second condition. Again we will check whether stack is empty or not. If the stack is not empty, then what we are going to do, we are going to update res, okay, at this current pointer index, which is 1. So at this part, and with which value we are going to update it, we are going to update it with 0, the value at top. So let's update it with 0. So here is 0. Okay, and then what we will do, we are going to update our stack with the value of current pointer. So here is 1, and we are going to move our top to 1. Okay, because 1 is the latest one that we have added to our stack. Then what will happen, current will move forward, and here current has encountered 5. So again we will check whether our stack is empty or not. No, our stack is not empty. And then we will check whether the value at top, whether the value 1 at first index, which is 7, is greater than or equal to 5. Yes, it is. So what we will do, we are going to pop this 1. Okay, so simply pop this 1. Then our top will come to this 0 position. Then we will check whether at 0 index the value is greater than or equal to 5. No, it is not, because 3 is not greater than or equal to 5. So we will proceed towards the next part. Now we will again check whether stack is empty or not. No, stack is not empty. Then what we will do, now we are going to update our res. How we will update our res? We are simply going to come to the index of current pointer, which is 2, here in our res array, and then we are going to update it with the value at top, which is 0. Okay, cool. Now we I forgot to update the stack. So current was at 2, so here is 2. Yeah, and now the top will be updated with 2. because 2 is the latest one that current has seen. Now current will move forward. So here current is pointing towards 4 at third index. Okay, now again we will check whether the stack is empty or not. No, stack is not empty. Then we will check whether the top value, this one 5, is greater than or equal to 4. Yes, it is. So what we will do, we will again pop this 2. Okay, and then it will come to this 0. When our top will come to this 0, we will again check whether the stack is empty or not. No, stack is not empty. Then we will check whether the value at top, that is 3, is greater than equal to 4. No. So that's why we will move towards the second condition. Again we will check whether stack is empty or not. So no, stack is not empty. Then we are going to update the value in a res, that is on current index, that is 3. And what we are going to do, we are going to update it with our top value, that is 0. Okay, and now let's update our stack with 3 because it is at 3, our current pointer right now. So let's move our current pointer one step forward, and this top will come here because it is the latest value, right? Now this current pointer is pointing to 5 at 4th index. Again we will check the value at top index, that is 4, is greater than or equal to 5. No. So what we will do, we will simply move forward and we will again check whether the stack is empty or not. No, stack is not empty. So what we will do, we are going to update res, okay, this res array, and we are going to update the value at 4th index here with the value at top. So right now top is pointing towards 3. So what we will do, we will simply write it down 3 here. Okay, and then we are going to update this with 4 and move our top here. Okay, because currently our current pointer is at 4th index. Now what we'll do, we'll move this current pointer one step forward, and now current is pointing towards 2 at 5th index. So we will check whether at 4, okay, whether at top, whatever the value is at top of our stack, which is 4. So at 4th index, is there a value that is greater than this 2 or equal? Yes, 5 is greater than 2. So what we will do, we are going to start popping these indices at our top. So here we have this 4, so let's remove this 4, and then our top will come here. Then we will check whether the value at 3 at 3rd index is greater than or equal to 2. Yes, it is. So what we will do, we are going to again pop this 3 from our stack, and then we are going to move our top to 0. At 0 index, we will check whether there is a value that is greater than or equal to 2. Yes, it is. 3 is greater than 2. So we are going to remove this one as well. Now what will happen, our stack got empty. So what we will do, we are going to simply fill our stack and then move forward since our stack got empty. So now let's fill up our stack with 5 because current pointer is pointing towards is currently at 5th index, so 5 here. And then what will happen, our current pointer should have moved further, but since there is no element here, so what will happen, our loop will end, and this is going to be our final answer. So what about the code alley? So today we are going to look at this part. So basically this is LeetCode's playground. Okay, so if you want to try it on your own, I mean, I'll share a link with you, but you can try it just by going to www.leetcode.com/playground. okay, so this kind of ID will appear on your screen. I'll share the link in the description as well. So how we are going to proceed with this question? So right now we have seen this example nums, and now I'm going to write my code, and then we will run this code and we'll see what is going to be the output. Okay, now how we are going to proceed? First of all, let's create the initial variables. So res, and res, remember res was a dummy array with like -1s. So what we are going to do, we are going to write down length of nums and then multiply by -1 in array. Okay, so what this statement will create, this statement will create an array of -1s with which will have a size of length of nums. Okay, okay, so now I will initialize stack is going to be an empty list. That's it. So then we will move towards our for loop. So for idx comma val in enumerate nums. Okay, so I am using enumerate basically helps you out by giving two values at a time, which is index and val. So index is going to be the index of the value, that is, let's say this 3. So index is going to be 0, and val simply means 3. Okay, element. People use element or val, whatever variable name you want to give it. Okay, now what next we will do, we are going to define a while loop. So while stack, remember we first check whether stack is empty or not, and nums bracket stack -1. So this stack index -1 simply means top of our stack. So we are basically checking the value at top of our stack, and then we are how we are comparing, we are looking at whether this value is greater than or equal to val. Okay, so the value at top of our stack is whether greater than or equal to the current value. Okay, if it is, so what we will do, we are simply going to pop out from our stack. Okay, then once this part is done, so again we check whether the stack is empty or not. Remember, so if let's say the stack is not empty, so what we will do here, we are going to update res with the current index, and what value we are going to assign here, stack and -1. So the top of our stack will be assigned to res at index that is current. Okay, finally here we are going to update, let's say after like these two conditions, our main goal is to update our stack with idx. Okay, and very finally, like for returning part, since we want the final array, so we are going to return this res. Cool. Now let's run this code. So I am going to click on run code here, and here you can see that this is the solutions class. And now so I created here an object, and then here we have defined nums array, and then if I scroll down, so here I am calling this function, this method, previous smaller elements from solutions class. Okay, so this is the final result, -1 0 0 0 3 -1. Now if I come here to the visualization, so the output is -1 0 0 0 3 -1. Awesome. So I hope like this code and the visualization part are like understandable to you, and this question is now at least understandable to you and is feeling easy to you. If you still face any concern, if you have any suggestions, any recommendations, please feel free to comment down on this video, and I'll definitely try my best to help you out to the best of what I can. Thank you so much like for your support, and please pray for me. If you really think like my contributions are valuable to you, please do consider me in your prayers in this blessed month. So thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you with a new question in the new video. Okay, so till then, take care, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.